And he's wrong color. Not supposed to be blue.
Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight, all the way from San Diego Comic-Con, we have the Super 7 Thundercats Ultimates Con exclusive Lion-O from Hook Mountain. And when I saw this figure, I just had to have it. Even though I couldn't make it to Comic-Con, I was able to snag this, and I will tell you how at the end of the video. But first, let's jump right into this thing, and taking a look, you can see it comes in this awesome mailer box. You have Thundercats, Lion-O, Hook Mountain Ice. You have ages 14 plus, Super 7 here, and nothing else on the box until you get to the back, and then you have some credits for the boxes, and this is pretty cool, but it is just a mailer box. They all come in mailer boxes. What I really want to take a look at is the actual figure itself, and let's get this out of the way, and we can see this beautiful packaging right here. Oh my goodness, it is a nice blue foil, somewhat like the original Thundercat boxes, except they are black and the only foil you get is the Thundercat symbol. But this entire box is a nice metallic blue, and that shine is just awesome. Unfortunately, it is a fingerprint magnet, so if I ever go missing and or commit crimes and you need my fingerprints, then just get them off the box here. Anyway, so we can see it is nice metallic blue. You have the Thundercat symbol here, and it has some nice frosting, ice frosting on the top. The Thundercat symbol there. Thundercats, you have some nice snowflake and frost here at the bottom, and you can see Lion-O, Hook Mountain Ice, ages 14, Super 7. On this side of the box, that ice motif still continues. On this side of the box, same thing. On the top of the box, you just have Ultimates, and on the bottom of the box you have more credits for the box, Super 7, and a barcode, so that is pretty neat. Coming to the back of the box, you have a huge Thundercats symbol there, and that is awesome. And more credits, you have content, one figure with accessories, and Super 7, and again more of my nasty grubby fingerprints. That is horrible, but anyway, that's it for the slip cover, and this will come up and we will actually see what this beautiful figure looks like. Alright, so let's bring this up. Oh, that is so pretty. And there we see the sleeping Lion-O encased in his plastic prison, and this is really cool. He is in a window box, and it is frosted over, and that is actually detailed on there. Wow, I like that. It's raised up just a little bit, and you can see he has an alternate head. He has 3 claw shields, alternate hands, the Sword of Omens, the mini Sword of Omens, and that is just so cool. He is like a frozen sleeping blue. I love the color, and it is so neat. If we turn to the back of the box, we do have another awesome piece of artwork of Lion-O, and that is really cool. You can see Hook Mountain there in the background, and you do have a brief read up, so let's move down and see that. You can pause the video right here to your heart's content and read it, but we must be moving on, so let's go back to the front of the box, and this is just so awesome. Let's get this Comic-Con exclusive out and see what he can do. And here we have Lion-O out of the box, and out of the box he stands approximately 7 inches tall, and he comes with a few accessories. We'll take a look at each of those later, but first off, I want to take a look at this frosty lord of the Thundercats himself. And coming real close in on Lion-O, you can see I went ahead and I switched to the alternate head. I didn't really like the standard head that he has equipped on with his eyes closed. If he's going to be standing up like this being reviewed, I think it looks better with him having eyes open, but that's just my preference. But anyway, starting with the head, it's nice, it's red, you got a lot of detail in there, it's all twisting, curved with hair going every which way, and you got a little bit of wash in there to kind of give it a little more texture and volume. Coming around to the front of his face, you can see he's got some nice eyebrows painted there, and his eyes are done nice with a little bit of black lines coming to the bottom. His face is the nice bluish green color as to denote that he is frozen in ice. If you look around his mouth, though, and his eyes, he does have his standard lighter colors, and that's going to be traditional with all Lion-Os. And then that will bring us down to his shoulders. Let's zoom out just a little bit so we can get him in full figure mode. So a little closer there. And you see his shoulders are the same color, but you have that differential here at the forearms. And then his stomach's going to be the same bluish green. Legs are all bluish green. The boots are a little darker aqua color for some reason, but that's okay. They do match his belt. And then you have the Thundercat symbol here. You have the blue, same color blue for the shirt for his shorts. And just the stripes going across. That is really neat. Turning around to the back, nothing that you wouldn't expect here. And this is a really cool looking figure as being frozen in ice, or I think you could also go for him being underwater and swimming, because I think that would be also what he would look like if he was under there. All right, and that is what Lion-O looks like. Moving on. And for articulation, starting at the head can go around 360 degrees. It can look up, it can look down, and it can do some wiggly waggly. That is awesome. The shoulders can go around 360 degrees. They can hinge up and back down. You do have a bicep swivel, 360 degrees. You do have an elbow bend right here, and that gives you about 90 degrees. That is pretty good. There is a little bit of give there because the muscle is so big. What is also interesting to note about this bicep and the elbow joint is this is one of the new pinless molds, and what I mean by that is when I bring out the original Lion-O, you can see right here that in his forearm there was supposed to be a little hole here where you can see the pin. Well, that has been removed, so that is a pretty neat form of articulation where you don't have that, and it looks a lot better with the sculpt. And when you go down to the leg again, while we have him, you can see the same thing. There is no longer any pin showing, so that is cool. I think that's the only other option. Looks like the knee hinge is a little smaller too, so that is cool when it comes to that articulation. And yeah, so that is pretty neat. This, I think, is also the mold that they're going to use for their red Lion-O that's going to come out soon, and I'll have him on pre-order and we'll take a look at that. But getting back to our articulation, coming down to the chest, he does have an ab crunch, so he can go up a little bit and he can go back a little bit. He does have waist articulation, 360 degrees. He does have leg articulation. It goes up just a little bit and back just a little bit, so there's not a lot of articulation when it comes to these legs. It can come out to the side, which is going to be where you get most of your articulation, so that is neat. Does have a bit of a thigh swivel, 360 degrees, and he does have the knee bend, which we discussed earlier, and that is pretty cool. And then coming down to his foot, there is, I don't think there's a boot cut. Nope, there is. There is a boot cut there. Wow, that is cool. And then he has foot articulation where it can go up on this hinge and then back down, and then it can go all the way around. And that is going to be your articulation with Lion-O. Pretty good. All right, moving on. And for comparison, here he is with a closer look at the original Super 7 Lion-O, and it is amazing what just a different paint job can do. So we'll go zoom all the way out and look at those, and that is just so neat that you can see, you know, one could be actually a ghost version or spirit version, or again, like I said, underwater version. So that is neat. Taking a look at the backs, and yeah, same mold, well, slightly different mold because, like I said before, the pins are now hidden, and that is really neat. All right, and that's what your two Lion-Os look like. Moving on. And for another comparison, here he is with Tiger and Panthro. So yeah, definitely looks sick or zombie-ish compared to them. All right, moving on. And for our last comparison, here he is with Mumra and the Mutants. And he looks alright, I guess, if he's turned evil. Okay, moving on. And for his alternate head, here it is. And as you can see, there's not much to it. It's just him with his eyes closed, so they didn't have to do much on the eyes, so he needs to get some rest. Okay, shh, be quiet. Moving on. And for accessories, starting off with his hands, he has 4 complete sets of hands. He is equipped with a set of weapon holding hands, and he also has a second set of weapon holding hands right here. Only difference is the hinges. One hinges up and down, the other hinges left to right. He has a set of fisted hands right here. And finally, he comes with a set of grabby hands right here. And those are all well and good. And they are all done in that weird palish paint color. So that is cool. And those are his hands. Moving on. And for Lionel's next accessory, he comes with 3 claw shields. Now these claw shields are basically the same mold as you got with the original Lino. They are just painted slightly different. And if we could take a look at this first one here and get it into focus, we can see that it is got a little bit of frost painting on it, and that is really cool. And you still got your little nodules on his knuckles with the red and the black, and that is cool. Even down here on the knuckles, you have a little bit of frost painting, and coming around to the back, you got some nice silver for the claw, a little bit of black here on the bottom. And if you look down in this side, you can see the tab where it can tab in, and he could wear it. And actually this particular one is molded into a fist, so you know he could do some punching with that, so that is really nicely done. And then you have your standard claw shield here that's open, and he can kind of grab, and then again you can see here where it plugs into the hand. Now this is the same as the original. This is the original. You can see there the differences. The claws on the exclusive are painted in a silver as opposed to the gray here, so you got a little more shine metallic wise, and that is pretty cool. But other than that, it is the same mold, so that is cool. Moving that, and then finally you have this third one, which can hold the miniature Sword of Omens. You can just stick it down in there. Bring this in, and you can see it will slide right down in there. And with that, you can have this hanging off the side of his belt with this little hook or nodule right here. So that looks really cool. And I do love the details and the frost paint that they put on these. And the next accessory we're going to take a look at is the Sword of Omens in its dagger form. And this is really, really nicely done. It is painted in a nice silver metallic paint, and it really, really pops. You do have a little bit of light blue for inside the hilt, and then you have a nice Eye of Thundera and then a little bit of gold coming down the middle. And if you look at this blade, it is nicely done in silver again, but it does have some frost paint effects on it, and that just looks so cool. Again, frost jokes. And let me get that zoomed in there. That is neat, even coming down to the handle. Sorry, it's going to get a little bit of unfocused, but here we go. This is the handle. That is really neat. And this is going to be slightly different than the other 2 short Sword of Omens that we've got. One with Lino, and I will bring his in right here. You can see the Lino sword has a smaller eye, and the paint was all just a bit gray. Actually, I don't even think it's painted. I think it was just gray plastic. You do have a little bit of blue metallic into the middle hilts here, whereas this is a light blue. So that is pretty cool. Just the same sculpt and just a little bit of different colors. And then we did get one other. We got the one that came with Jaga, and here it's pretty much the same color for the eye, just this one, the exclusive is a little thicker, and there is no internal paint on the inside of the hilt for Jaga's little Sword of Omens dagger. So that is really neat, and I love this thing. And you saw earlier that it can fit inside the claw shield, and he can hold it really well if he wants to fight with just this size, but that's never any fun. All right. And that's going to be your short form of the Sword of Omens. Moving on. And finally, that brings us to the creme de la creme of weapons, the fully extended Sword of Omens, and it is just beautifully done in that same metallic silver paint, and I love this thing. It has a very nice sculpted handle. You do get a little bit of that light blue in the hilt section, and you have a very defined Thundercat symbol there, very sharp and nice, and the blade is just awesome, very nice, and you have that frost detail. And if I really thought about it, I would try to do something to remove that frost effect and just have a nice silver colored Sword of Omens, but that is just so cool. A very distinctive Sword of Omens. But anyway, to compare it to the other Sword of Omens that we got, let me zoom out just a bit. We did get two others. We had one with Lion-O, and Lion-O's Sword of Omens isn't that great. I mean, for what it is, it was a newly designed sculpt. It had a slender blade on it, but if you look at the Thundercat symbols, the one that came with Lion-O was not very defined. So we'll zoom in there real close, or as close as we can get, and you can see that the one that came with the exclusive, you got the little details in there, but here you just got maybe what could be the shape of a Thundercat head. I don't know. It's not that great. But anyway, you still got a little bit of metallic blue in with the one with Lion-O, as opposed to just the light blue with the exclusive. But there was yet another Sword of Omens that came with Jaga, and this particular one had a little better presentation. You just had a standard blue for the inside of the hilt, but the Thundercat symbol was a lot better, and I usually use this sword for Lion-O if I have him instead of Jaga. I mean, truthfully, it's the same sword, it's just Jaga's was done a little better because he was a better Thundercat. No, I didn't say that. But anyway, they are the same mold and sculpt, just a little different paint job, especially with the metallic thing. So anyway, that is going to be your Sword of Omens. Moving on. Now, one of the neat features of this figure is it's supposed to have a color changing ability, and if you put it out in the sun, he will go from his pale greenish blue color to regular Thundercat colors. Well, I've got the porch open here, so let's walk out there and see if we can get this thing to change colors. All right, we'll get in the sun real quick, and oh my goodness, look at that. That is less than 5 seconds. Holy cow, this thing is color changed to a bright orange Thundercat in less than like 5 seconds. Wow, that is so neat. Oh, on the back he hasn't got tanned yet, so let's go turn him over, see if he can get tanned equally on the back as he is on the front. I think my son is going behind some trees, so that's annoying. Maybe it's over here. There it is. All right, wow. That is so neat and so fast. That is really cool. He now looks like a regular Thundercat, and a little orange for my taste for the color, but still, that is neat. I love that feature. All right, that is your color change feature. Moving on. And this has been the awesomeness of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Super 7 Thundercats Ultimates Lion-O on Hook Mountain. And I love this figure. There is nothing about this figure that did not appeal to me when I saw it, and unfortunately I didn't make it out to Comic-Con, but that's okay. I still got it anyway, and I'm about to tell you how you can get this awesome figure as well. But first, let's talk a little bit about what I really loved about this figure. First off, it's Lion-O. You can't go wrong with Lion-O. He is Lord of the Thundercats, and I love it. This is a slight remold of the original Super 7, technically Matty Collector Lion-O, but it does have the pinless technology where you don't see those pesky pins on the outside of the figure from the forearms and the legs, and that was great. The paint is slightly different, obviously, because he's supposed to be frozen under the ice of Hook Mountain, and the color change ability is just so cool. It took less than 5 seconds for this blue Thundercat to go to a bright orange representation of Lionel that we've seen so many times before, and it was just awesome. I can't say enough good things about that. I love that technology. Now, if you're trying to get him back to this nice crisp blue color, all you gotta do is add a little bit of heat to him, like hit him with a hair dryer, and he will turn back to blue very quickly. If not, you could just let him freeze up on his own, as it were. The weapons, awesome weapons. I know they are just reissues, but the painted silver is so awesome. The frost application that they had on them, very cool. The claw shields, very nicely done. Again, they didn't give us the little brown fuzzy one like they did in the original, but that's okay. I didn't really like that one anyway. The ones that they did give us, cartoon accurate ones with the frost, that was just so neat. And the box representation, oh my gosh, the box blue foil, very beautiful. Again, fingerprint magnet. I am just so in love with this figure. I love it. Now, it wasn't the exclusive I was looking for. I'm still waiting for that exclusive Spirit Jaga, but it's something to look forward to, right? Alright, so if you're looking for this guy and you didn't have the opportunity to go to San Diego Comic-Con like I didn't, you can find this guy on the Super 7 website for a whopping $55, which is how much their Thundercats usually are, so it's not that bad a deal. The shipping is a little expensive, but you will still get this guy for roughly $80, depending on where you live and the shipping option that you choose. So anyway, I love this figure. Highly recommend it. If you're a Thundercat fan, you'll want to grab it up. I know it was only like that for like 2 seconds in the cartoon before he went back to his normal color, but that's what exclusives are all about. Things that you really don't have to add to your collection to be complete. But I loved this concept and I just had to have it. Alright guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, keep playing.